This one's going to get spicy. Okay. Hawks Hornets. This is not a trade up to number 1, folks. This is a little bit of Jeff Peterson raiding his old town Atlanta Hawks for some role players, for some young players. The Hornets would be giving up number 6, Cody Martin and Davis Bertans. So in this idea, really provide Atlanta are looking to rebuild, retool, add another young player at the top 6, getting some versatility, some economic versatility by being able to waive Davis Bertans, salary cap flexibility. In return, they're sending Charlotte DeAndre Hunter, who has 3 years left on his deal, AJ Griffin, who is 2 years left, former Duke player, obviously. So they're kind of shipping out an underperforming rookie and AJ Griffin, who is kind of flattered to deceive really so far in Atlanta and been out of the mix most of the time. And DeAndre Hunter, a guy that Jeff Peterson was involved in drafting during his time in Atlanta. It gives Charlotte a starting 3 next to Brandon Miller that can defend and play the role that we're probably forecasting for Stephon Castle, for Dyson Daniels. And we know that he's probably the best shooter out that bunch as well. This is, I think, what are your thoughts, Chase?
I like AJ Griffin. I'm not really a DeAndre Hunter guy. I think I would very strongly consider this regardless, just because, especially with this framework, he is obviously a better shooter, at least on higher volume, than Cody Martin.
Yeah.
He's not as good of a defender. That's probably the biggest disconnect I have with DeAndre Hunter is I'm not a huge fan of his defense overall. I think he looks and has the physical build of someone that's versatile, but it never really pans out. I feel like Atlanta's defenses would have been way better over the last handful of years if they had this rangy, versatile defensive wing, you know what I mean? But he has looks like he would fill that role because he's tall and long and pretty athletic, but he just has never really been a hugely impactful player to me. But I do like AJ Griffin a lot. I didn't really understand why he fell out of their rotation this year. So really, if you think about it, the only cost here is Cody Martin and 6. As much as I like Cody Martin and think he's a very good fit with this team, he's not as good as DeAndre Hunter. Obviously, Bertans is just a wash for the salary. And then you get a shot on a young player in AJ Griffin to kind of replace giving up the 6th pick. And I don't know about you, but I like AJ Griffin more than nearly any other wing in this class. I think the only one that would even be close. I would probably put him I would have him in the top 5 in this class for sure. I mean, I had him in the top 5 in his own class. I'd probably have him.
Are you saying now, or are you saying pre-draft?
Pre-draft, that is where I had him much higher. Even now, I would probably still take him over. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably take AJ Griffin over any of the wings at the top of this draft currently. So even given the contract as well. So yeah, I mean, I loved what I saw from him his first year. He averaged 9-10 points a game, I think, something like that. Shot almost 40% from threes, an efficient overall shooter, pretty good rebounder and defender, obviously super athletic. He's not a consistent defender yet that makes an impact on that end. He doesn't get a ton of steals or blocks, and he's not a super switchable guy, but he defends his position, or at least I think will defend his position well enough once he gets enough reps on that end and can be in a rotation again. It's difficult to continue developing when you have significantly fewer opportunities than you did your first year, because you don't even get to show what you've improved at nearly as high of a rate or as consistently as he did as a rookie. But
I understand that. My question is always well, why isn't he back on? Why isn't he back on the radar? Why isn't he playing this year? Right? There has to be the team aren't trying to lose games. Okay, so there has to be something there, surely, which would explain why he's not getting on the court. Is it his lack of attention to detail, not paying attention in the film room, not working hard enough? For me, there's background intel you need to get in terms of where did it go wrong there. But look, I do still like AJ Griffin. I think there is untapped potential there. The other thing to mention is one of the motivating reasons the Hawks might want to do this is to create some cap flexibility. I mentioned at the start, but they're going to be a tax team this year. Unless they make some cost-saving moves. So a lot of people assume it's going to be Clint Capella. That might make some sense. There might even be Hornets trades for Clint Capella that makes some sense. But in this scenario, it's again moving out the wings. Let's say a Stefan Castle falls to 6 and Atlanta falling in love with Stefan Castle. Great, they can add him, replace DeAndre Hunter, and maybe they just want to start again. So you're in on the Hawks and Hornets. Just to recap, it's 6 Cody Martin and Davis Bertans for Hunter and AJ Griffin. And I think we've got another agreement.